Hey everyone! This video got split into two parts and you're watching part 2 right now. If you haven't seen part 1, I recommend you pause and go back and watch that first so that you can catch the introduction to what I'm up to and see the projects that I covered in that video. You don't have to go back and watch it if you don't want to. I just wanted to let you know that if it sounds like I'm starting in the middle of something, it's because I am. This is part 2. Let's get into it. Okay, so it's the next day and I cannot be bothered to do my makeup to finish off the last little bit of this works in progress video now that I've got my phone recharged. So my plan was to come back and tell you about 2 more works in progress, one of which I think is going to get finished and the other I think is also going to get ripped out. For those who are not knitters, when we pull out knitting and undo the stitches, it's called frogging. So I think that one of the sweaters I'm going to show you today is going to get frogged. Let me show you the one that I think I'm going to keep. Okay, so this is another sort of summery top that I was working on. The yarn is a silk blend, Berroco Summer Silk in color 4021. And it is 45% silk, 43% cotton, and 12% nylon. And it is also, it's listed as 240 yards or 220 meters per 50 grams, but honestly I feel like it is thicker than that. It's very lightweight yarn. It might be fingering weight, but it's got a sort of chained construction. I don't know if that shows up, but it's almost like a little braid. And I think this might also be discontinued. My now most local yarn shop has quite a few Berroco yarns that have been on high sale lately, so I assume that they're discontinued, but I'll check. Yeah, so this is a nice lightweight sort of, it's almost reading a little more red than it is. It's got a little bit more blue in it, but it's a nice like rich rosy brown pink color that fits very well into my wardrobe. It's going well. It's just plain knitting and now fall is starting to come and I'm feeling the pressure from my commissions. So this one is just like very temporarily stalled and I still pick it up when I don't have time to like prepare or cast on something else, or like if I'm going, I took this to a movie because right now it's just plain knitting in the round and so I can do that without looking at all. And then once we get a few more inches past the underarm here, it's going to have a cute little almost like peplum edge and then finish off the t-shirt sleeve too. So it's coming along, good progress, but still more to go before I can do the peplum. I'll be back. Okay, so the other work in progress that I wanted to show you today that is probably not going to be finished is the Magnolia bloom. And this is actually the junior size. I don't know about this sweater. So it looks lovely. I'm not like super unhappy with it, but I'm not super happy with it either. This is knit in Rowan Moordale, which is 70% wool, 30% alpaca, 100% British fiber. And this is color Gooseberry. And there's a picture of a blue-faced Leicester sheep on it, so I assume that the wool content is primarily BFL. It's a really beautiful yarn. It's got a nice halo. It's a little more apple-y than I usually would wear, but again, this came from that 50% off closeout sale at my local yarn store when it was closing. So I normally would not have bought a sweater's quantity worth of Rowan, but I think I got it 50 or 75% off when the shop was closing. And I was having trouble getting gauge. The Magnolia Bloom adult size was too loose. So if I knit to match that pattern, I could like poke my fingers through the knitting, if that makes sense. And the junior size was closer to the fabric that I was happy with. And I looked at the largest junior size and it was not far off from my size. And so I thought, I'll knit that because at least I know the proportions of the yoke and things like that are going to be how it's intended in the pattern. So that's what I did. And then I did wash and block this. Did I wash the sleeve? Yes, I washed the sleeve. And I'm not unhappy with it. It's a nice sort of light pullover. I think this might be another casualty too. I gained a little bit of weight after I started this sweater, so I'm not sure. And I think also because the yarn is so like, it's not like very scratchy, although I think I am a little bit allergic to this yarn, which sometimes happens with camelids, which are alpaca, camel. If they haven't been washed really, really well, sometimes a little bit of the like dust from them causes me to sniffle when I'm knitting, but usually doesn't cause me problems in the finished garment. Anyway, what I was saying was this yarn feels really like, it would almost make a good like outer jacket kind of. It's not like too scratchy to be close to the skin, but it feels like if I had like a nice cardigan that I could put on like a sort of misty cool day where I don't need a coat, it would be really excellent for that. And I'm just not sure this is the best match for this yarn. Because it's such a more sort of delicate top, knit very open, and I have 5 skeins of this, and I probably will only use maybe 3 to finish this sweater. And that feels a little bit wasteful too. Like I would rather find a project that would use more of the yarn, and something knit a little more tightly and maybe with some cables or something would definitely meet that requirement. So that's what I'm thinking about this one. I haven't quite decided yet though, so I will keep you updated if I decide to rip it out or not. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. And then I have a few other works in progress that are commissions that I'm going to save for another video where I can talk a little bit more in depth about the process for those. I would love it if you would let me know in the comments which project you're most excited to see finished. Like, if everyone is really excited about one project or another, maybe it will give me the motivation to actually finish something off, which always feels really, really good. Right now I'm a little preoccupied with commissions because most of them are due around Christmas time, and it is second week in October now. So Christmas is coming quickly, and I want to give people their items with ample time so that they're not like down to the wire on gifts or decor. And I'll tell you all about those in a future video, probably closer to Christmas, just because it's a little more festive and fun that way. So yes, comment below about which of these projects you're most excited to see finished. And I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have about the process, the yarn, anything I didn't explain well enough for my non-knitting friends and family who are here. And then for knitters, if you've got more questions about why I've made the decisions I've made, then I'm happy to talk through those with you in the comments as well. If you haven't yet, would you please subscribe to the channel? I really would like to get more knitting and crafty friends here. So if you've got other friends who are creatives, who enjoy crafts, making, knitting, crochet, yarn, any of the things that I've talked about, if you would like specifically share this to them so that we can build a little bit more of a crafty community here too. Non-crafters are always welcome, of course, but if I could get some more crafters watching, I think that would help YouTube help other people find the channel, if that all makes sense. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you here next week. Bye!